picked these two little machines up a few weeks ago on Marketplace in the middle of the night, about an hour away from me. Kind of stored them away for a rainy day, and well, it's not quite raining today, but I do feel like working on them. Let's dive into them. So I picked these two little guys up the same night from the same seller on Marketplace. He had both of them listed separately. I saw the CT70 pop up first. The listing had been up for a little while, so I, of course, messaged him right away and tried to come get it. Now, he had them just cheap enough where there was quite the bidding war going on of people trying to come get them. So when I saw this guy also pop up from the same guy, I made an offer to buy both of them. I think that made me a little bit, I don't know, more of a legit buyer in his eyes. So I was lucky enough to go pick them up. Didn't get them for dirt cheap, paid a little bit more than I would have liked to actually, but these things are getting quite collectible. So these are pretty cool. They're both 1977s. This is a 1977 XL75. This is a 1977 CT70. Just kind of cool. They both came from the same place and in the same year. Definitely more interested in the CT70. I've never had one. I've had a lot of machines in my life, like well over 100 little machines of all different sorts. Never had a CT70. Never had an XL75 either, but I had a close friend who has one of these. Actually, his is an SL, I believe. Very similar looking bike. So yeah, I think the focus of today's video is going to be this guy. Mostly because this one's more complete than the CT70. That one's missing a chain, rotted off handlebars, got some issues. Even if we get that running, we need some parts. Where this one, if we can get it running without needing much, I can put it around the backyard tonight or tomorrow. And I could use that because I'm in the middle of the boat build and ran into some issues with our controls and other things and just needed a break from fabrication. Wanted to try my hand at some mechanics. So as you can see, it's complete, but it's been beat on pretty hard. I got a gnarly dent in the tank here. So I'm gonna put a bunch of early 2000s like stickers. That's like a Under Armour from the 2000s. Some other stupid sticker. I hate that someone did that. But maybe we can get them off without damaging the paint, because the graphics in the paint really aren't that bad. Moving forward, we have a missing headlight. I got a pretty mangled fender, busted up speedometer. The seat is complete, but definitely need a new cover. The license plate holder's all mangled. This thing's been ridden hard. We do have a cool little tag, Rod Fitch's Sports Center. I'll have to look that up. I assume they no longer exist, but Clinton, Iowa is only about an hour away. That's where our 71 Suburban came from. We got a very 70s era shop going on today. Moving on to this side, we have our helmet lock still in place. Got some dangling wires. What's going on there? I don't know. Ancient fuel line. This side escaped the stickers though, except for this gigantic one here, which is actually gone. There used to be a sticker there, but just some residue left over. Yeah, this side of the bike looks a lot better. Inside of our tank, I don't know if we have anything in here. While not beautiful, it's really not bad. I checked it out pretty good when I looked at the thing and didn't see any holes, but I do see some surface rust down in there. So I have to do a little something about that. From what I remember, it does kick over, or else I wouldn't have bought it. Maybe. There we go. Kicks over, has good compression, has the original carburetor still on it. This is exactly how I like to buy them. Complete and untouched. Now from the story the guy gave me, this bike ran a lot more recently than the CT70 did. He said maybe about 10 or so years ago. I think the guy said a local neighborhood kid owned it and rode the crap out of it to the point where it annoyed him so much he bought it from him and jammed it in his shed so he didn't have to hear the kid running around the neighborhood ever again. So that would explain the stickers and how beat up it was. Kind of matches up with that story. All right, I guess we'll pull the dipstick, see what's going on there, and then we'll jump right into checking spark. We should check our air filter out too and see what's going on. Oil looks old, but it's at the right level, so that's good. Well, I don't know how the seat operates, but this guy just kind of pops out. Oh, that doesn't get us, it gets us to our airbox, but not how I was intending. Oh, there we go. Pop the ancient gasket. Huh, this has a spring as a hose clamp. Let's see if we can, I really would like to save this air boot. Let me get a screwdriver. All right, not too bad, except for the fact that our complete filter element turned into goop in the bottom of the airbox. But the element itself looks okay. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, that's something. All right, while the goop in the airbox is not ideal, it will not slow us down for firing this thing up for the first time. What will slow us down is not having any spark. What's going on with all the exhaust evidence over here? I don't know. Let's stick our spark checker on here, which is not going to work well because this is that style of plug that you don't use the little nut on it. Makes checking spark a little hard. All right, what do you guys think? We're going to have spark or no? We got it set to run. The keys on. Oh yeah. I saw one good spark. Let me see if I can get that again. Okay. Let's pull the plug out of it. Like I said, the spark checker is made for a plug with the nut on it. These aren't, so it's kind of hard to really get a good reading. But if you pull the plug out of it, we'll know for sure. And we'll know the condition of the plug. All right, well, I sandblasted our plug. And I still don't see anything. That's really weird because I definitely saw a good spark for a second. Weird. If our plug end's sketchy. This is a completely different plug and no change. And I'm even feeling bold enough to hold it, so we got nothing. We definitely had spark for a second. That's so weird. All right. I guess we will start. To get to the points to these, you got to pull the flywheel, which isn't a big deal because I have the flywheel puller. Maybe the points are working, and then when I opened it up, we left some junk down in them. I don't know. Wouldn't hurt to check out our points, though, I guess. All right, we were able to get all 5 screws out, which actually were only 4 screws and 1 Allen head bolt. Someone must have lost an original screw. Got that off. Cover's in pretty decent shape. Stick it over here in my boat, which is quickly becoming a shelf. So this is an Motion Pro, actually brand doesn't matter, but it's an M27 by 1.0. This is left-hand thread. So this threads into some threads in the flywheel itself, which we're actually gonna hit with some PVD blaster. We thread this guy in. Oh, we're gonna need to snug that up a little more. You take this guy. It's gonna press against the end of your crank. And just like that, I think it just broke loose. Oh yeah, I love having the right tool for the job. All right, these points aren't looking too hot, but nothing a little sandpaper can't fix. I'm sorry that all you can see is my thumb right now. Look at all that shmoo on there. Already looking better. I can actually hear them closing against each other. All right, pop the flywheel back on. See if we have spark now. Oh yeah. Sweet, okay. A little bit of points cleaning and we're back in action. Let's get that plug drop back in and maybe we'll hit it with a Scotia carb cleaner or starting fluid. I don't know what the best angle for you guys is. Maybe let's try over here. I still got to get in here and kick this thing. All right, let's see what happens. Oh yeah. We're going to be running in no time. Now the debate is pull the carburetor, clean it, all new fuel lines. I know we need fuel lines. Those fuel lines are ancient. I don't have a carb rebuild for this. Man, I got a hunch. These are O-ring type gaskets for the bowl. And when they sit for any amount of time, they love to rip. And there's really no good way to, you can't just make a new one. Let's start with some new fuel line and then flush out the tank maybe. And try that. All right, well, we cut what was left of the fuel line off there. It's not very pliable anymore. So now that we have that out of the way, I do want to kind of shake the tank around, get any loose junk out of there. So I got to get the tank off. To get the tank off, you need to get the seat off. So I was looking at it, and I thought I remember these twisting off to the side on a hinge, but that's actually like the Yamaha GT80s, which I've had a few of those. This one's kind of cool. You undo the two shock nuts, and then these little tabs come off of there, and the front comes off of there. And then I think you can pull this tank right off too. Yep, there we go. Don't even need any tools other than undoing the shocks. Oh yeah, I forgot. These guys do have little batteries in them. Huh, I forgot about that. I guess that makes sense. It does have lights and everything. Let's see what's going on in our tank. All right, I checked it when I bought the thing. If you ever looking at vintage motorcycles like this to revive, definitely check the bottom of the tank, because if you had a sweet tank like this with some good paint and graphics on it, it really sucks to flip it over and find out it's completely junk and rotted out. This one's not bad at all. I don't see any soft spots. A little bit of surface rust starting in the inside part of the saddle. Now inside, you can see some light surface rust. I used to be all about using red coat, but recently I've heard some really bad stories about it, and I've actually seen firsthand it kind of ruin a tank by kind of making just like this goop that would get stuck in the filter. So what we're going to do is just flush it out with gas and run a fuel filter and see how that goes. I will also, on occasion, as you guys saw me do on the commuter 3-wheeler, which is outside, you can put some hardware in here if you've got big chunkies and shake it around. That knocks all the rust loose and cleans it out. Then you drain it, but this one's not bad enough to do that. We're just going to put some fuel in it and shake it around. Well, we made more of a mess than anything, but at least the inside of the tank's a little cleaner. A little bit. No more chunks, so we're going to run a filter, and it's going to be all right. I think our petcock is only bypassing, so it won't work, but it should flow fuel and hopefully not leak with a line hooked up. So I'm going to get this thing stabbed on here, and we'll throw some line on it and try and kick it over. You guys might give me some crap, but these little fuel clamps, I think they do have their place. Situations like this, I kind of like them. They're a lot better than the zip ties that I pulled off this bike. Over. I don't know if we have room for a filter. Let's see the other side, maybe. So I'm probably talking right in your guys' ear. Yeah, we don't have any room for a filter on here. But I did just remember, inside the tank up here, we do have a screen on the intake, so that'll plug up long before a filter would anyway. Let's go ahead and dump some gas in it and see how bad this carburetor float sticks. I'm gonna go ahead and try a little bit of 2-stroke. That's some good fresh stuff. A little extra lubrication won't hurt this thing. We're only going to do a little bit. Alright, I don't see our float sticking yet, so that probably means we're not getting any fuel to the carburetor, huh? Which way's the choke operate on this guy? I'm going to go with down as on. Get a little fumey in here for some reason. All the fuel and stuff floating around. Alright, we got the choke on, we got fuel to it, we got spark. You know, I'm gonna give this thing, let's go with 5 kicks and see what happens. I bet it fires up within 5. Full on. That's even better. The throttle's broken. Okay, I thought 5 kicks would be generous, but just 1 is all it took, and this thing fired right up. Sweet. Our throttle's all bunged up, which I knew that. And I guess it likes running with the choke on. Nope, we got a little bit of seepage around the bowl. Yeah. Not even smoking. Well, I'm going to call that a success so far. The little XL75 runs pretty good for not having a carb clean. Now, it is dirty dribbling, so we're going to have to go in there and do a bowl gasket, I'm assuming. Oh, well, shouldn't be a big deal. I think I can find a kit for this online pretty easy since these are pretty popular. Yeah, really, all we did was clean the points, new fuel line, and new fuel, and this thing dialed right up. That's awesome. Now, you can see our throttle was acting kind of funny. That's a big part of it. The threads are pulled out here in the throttle housing. And of course, you know, it's going to run a lot different with the air filter hooked up. So we definitely need to order some parts. But for now, I'm going to wait for daylight because someone broke our headlight years ago. And we're going to take this for a little cruise around the backyard. Man, look how tall the grass is. If only someone had a cool and fun vintage lawnmower to use to mow the lawn. Well, our little XL75 seems to be doing pretty good in the running department. The only issue is our clutch seems to be a little slippy. First, it's really good. Second, it's pretty good. Third, if you put it in third and goose it right off the bat, the clutch kind of hangs up. I don't know if it's bad enough for me to warrant it getting a clutch job right now, but definitely something to think about. But it runs really, really good. All the gears shift nice. It's just the clutch is a little sticky, likes to stick on. So I'm pretty happy with this thing. I did just place an order for an air filter, and I need to order a petcock still. There's something else too. I forget what it was. Something else important. Oh, a carb kit, because our carb seems to be dripping gas from the bowl gasket, and I found one online for pretty cheap. So I'll see you guys when I get those parts, and we'll get this thing dialed in and get rid of this goop maybe. It's been a week. We get some parts in the mail for this little fella to make it a little bit nicer to use. Maybe we can do away with that clamp for our fuel shutoff. Let's start off with popping the tank off and replacing that. All right, got the tank popped off again. Out with the old. I think we're good. I don't see any fuel leaks. All right, well, this petcock's set up for a bottom feed, which works out good because we're able to run this little inline filter then. So we have a little bit more space to play with. Not super ideal, but should work. Next thing we need to do is eradicate all the goop out of the airbox. That's a lot of gunk. All right, our original filter itself seems to be in pretty good shape. We just needed a new outer piece, cover, whatever you want to call it. Came pre-oiled, which is nice too. All right, well, I bought a carburetor kit for the little guy, but I'm not going to worry about it because it runs so dang good. And the only issue we were having is we got some fuel that dribbles out of the bowl if you let it sit for a while. Now that we have a good fuel shutoff, though, I don't think that's too big of an issue. So let's fire it up and make sure it runs better now. All right, well, I think that's going to wrap us up on this little fella. Today's episode, we got this little 1977 Honda XL75 running for the first time in who knows how long. Fixed a few minor issues with it, but overall it was a really pretty easy revival, and I really like this thing. It's an absolute blast to beat around in the backyard on. Now we're not done with it yet. We're going to do another video where we probably throw a clutch at it because it's slipping pretty bad now. I want to fix the speedometer, the headlight, then we're going to ride the hell out of it at Hanson Hollows, I think. So, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and comment down below. I answer every single comment on every single video at this point. So, with that, I will see you guys on the next one. Well, I'll be honest, I almost forgot like the most important thing, to change the oil in this little guy. Oop. Hopefully I don't make a mess this time. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. I'll see you guys next time. It smells gassy. Maybe we do need to rebuild the carburetor.